Hello everybody and welcome back to Dollar Tree Dinners. I know today is Thursday. Usually I would do $10 Tuesday, but I did not make a Tuesday video. So today's kind of a makeup episode, a $10 Thursday, if you will. Before we get into today's recipe, today's video is sponsored by Solitaire Grand Harvest, and here is sponsor Rebecca to tell you a little bit more about that. This is Solitaire Grand Harvest. It's the #1 free solitaire game in the world, and it's not just a card game anymore. It takes the classic solitaire you probably already know and turns it into something way more layered. You play rounds of solitaire, and each time you win, you harvest crops on your farm. And the more you play, the more your farm grows, you unlock new areas, earn rewards, and progress through missions and challenges as you go. There are mini games, collectible items, and even little side tasks like digging around in your garden to help the animals find their lost stuff. Right now there's even a full Smurfs collaboration happening in-game, so you'll see familiar characters like Greedy Smurf, Sunny the Squirrel, Gargamel, Azriel, and more. You even get your own Smurf pet, which you can feed, level up, and earn rewards that help you move faster through the game. There are no pressure or timers, no ads, it's free to download, and there is a lot of content packed in this game. If you want to try it out, you can download Solitaire Grand Harvest using the link in the description or the QR code on screen. So this Thursday, we are making dinner from Dollar Tree. Let me show you what's in the mystery bag. First and foremost, we have a box of pasta, rotini specifically. Next up, I have a jar of basil pesto. Number 3, a can of chickpeas, followed by a jar of marinated red pepper strips. Next up, we have a can of corn. These are 75 cents and the chickpeas were $1. Last but not least, we have a jar of minced garlic and a jar of Parmesan cheese. Now you may be looking at these ingredients and thinking to yourself, these do not look like typical Dollar Tree Dinners Rebecca ingredients, and you would be correct. Today I am branching out and trying someone else's Dollar Tree meal. Specifically, I am trying a Dollar Tree meal that was posted by a dietitian. So the dinner we're making tonight comes from Nutrition by Kylie.
I'm a dietitian and today we're making a meal from Dollar Tree ingredients. For this meal, I'm picking up pasta, pesto, jarred bell peppers, canned corn, chickpeas, a jar of minced garlic, and Parmesan. This all costed under $9 and this should feed around 4 people. A bowl, sprinkle with grated Parmesan, and you have an affordable meal.
Food access and affordability play a huge role in health. Eating well shouldn't just be about perfection. It's about making the best choice you can with what you have. And meals like this show that nourishing yourself doesn't have to be complicated or expensive.
So her total was $8.55. Mine was $8 even because the corn that she bought was $1.25 and the corn that I bought was 75 cents. But as I was standing in line at the checkout line, I started kind of looking at these ingredients on my belt and I realized that this ingredient is slightly redundant. I did go ahead and purchase it, but the jarred red peppers comes with a clove of garlic already. So I'm gonna donate this one and I am just gonna be using the garlic that's already in the ingredient that we purchased. This is very different from any Dollar Tree meal that I've ever made in the past. The ingredients themselves are not that far-fetched. I mean, chickpeas, red peppers, corn, pesto. I think to me it's like the combination of those ingredients that I personally would not have thought of, but I am excited to try it. So let's get cooking. She starts by boiling her pasta, which honestly is kind of smart, and I always kind of neglect this step, and I get to the point where like my sauce is ready to go, but my pasta is not. So I've got a big pot of water. Let's get it pretty heavily salted and bring it up to a boil. I moved my pot to the back burner here so I could get a skillet prepping for our sauce ingredients. It looked like she used about a cup of pasta. Again, I'm pretty sure she made 1 to 2 servings. I'm going for 4, so I'm gonna use, this is a 2 to 3 cups, somewhere between that. It's about half the box of rotini. I do really like that none of these ingredients are fridge or freezer ingredients, so this serves as a potential meal in a bag as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and start with fishing out this little garlic clove from my red peppers. I love these red peppers and they are a really great price at Dollar Tree. And I especially love to try to make the most of everything, which is why anytime I buy these, I try to use this little garlic clove for something. So really the only prep work that I'm going to be doing is mincing this little clove of garlic. Get that out of my way. We don't have any defined measurements, so everything from here on is going to go by feel mostly. Let's start with some oil in the bottom of our pan, a couple tablespoons, and I'll do like medium-high heat. And into that oil, we're going to start by sauteing our little clove of garlic. Oh, I might have that a little too high. We don't want to burn that garlic. Let's also add in our chickpeas, just drained. And our corn. And roasted red pepper strips. She says to season this all with salt, pepper, and she says a little red pepper flake. I'm gonna leave that out because, as you guys know, my rules are only oil, salt, and pepper. Technically, I did buy the garlic unnecessarily, but we're just gonna test it with salt and pepper and see how it turns out. And she says to saute this together for about 3 to 5 minutes. So I would say that this meal is working with a lot of natural flavors. I really like the flavor of chickpeas, I like the flavor of corn, and I like the flavor of red pepper strips. They all have their own unique flavors and textures, particularly these red pepper strips, which are roasted. So you can see they have a little bit of char on them. And I'm kind of hoping that the chickpeas and the corn will also get a little bit of char as the pasta cooks, just to give it some depth of flavor in addition to the sauce that we're going to make with the pesto. I'm going to back you guys up a smidge because I think what I'm going to do is, rather than draining this pasta, because we do need some of the pasta cooking water, I'm just going to kind of ladle it directly into my corn mixture. But first I'm going to check a noodle, make sure it's done. I think it is. It's been 13 minutes. I'm going to use a little strainer here because we need some of that pasta water, so I don't want to put it all down the drain. And plus, now I'm not dirtying an extra dish, because I already used the strainer for the chickpeas and stuff. The next addition is the pesto. That pesto smells really good for $1.25. So then the next ingredients are pesto. It looked like she used 2 tablespoons, but again, she made 1 or 2 servings. So we're gonna measure the pesto with our heart here. About half the jar, that looks good to me. And some of our pasta cooking water to make a sauce. I feel like that does not quite look pesto-y enough for me, so I'm going to add in 1 more spoonful. And other than that, this is almost done. Let's plate it up. Finish off with a sprinkle of Parmesan. And that is our Nutritionist recommended Dollar Tree dinner. So I'm gonna put up a side-by-side of her finished dish versus mine. We'll see how close we got it. you know, no recipe, just kind of winging it on everything. I'd say it actually looks pretty on point. I was concerned about the ratio of ingredients. I didn't think I had quite enough red pepper strips again, because it looked like she cooked a meal for 1 or 2 people, but it looked like she used the entire jar of chickpeas, the entire jar of red peppers, the entire can of corn, and only a small amount of pasta. So I thought hers would be a little more toppings heavy than mine is, but kind of looking at them side by side, I actually don't think they're that far off. And if I were to move some of those red pepper strips to the top here and try to kind of work those in, might be a little bit more closely resembling to the dish that she made, if that makes sense. And of course you can bulk this out further by cooking the entire box of pasta. Those boxes of pasta at Dollar Tree are 20-ounce boxes, so they make quite a bit of pasta. I was just trying to make sure that the ratios were in line with the final dish that she presented. And I guess it's time to give it a taste. I do want to kind of cut up these red pepper strips so that I get a little bit in every bite as opposed to just a few bites with a lot of red pepper. But otherwise, I'm gonna try to get a little bit of everything. Some chickpeas, some corn, a little bit of red pepper, and some Parmesan. I wouldn't say it's my forte, making kind of healthy or nutritionally dense Dollar Tree meals. So I'm very open to the avenues that this provides. Since this is not my recipe, it is a recipe I'm trying from someone else, I do want to kind of change how I review the meal. Let's review it. Let's do price, taste, and texture. I think that's like a good way to kind of hit all of the bases. Let's talk about price first. If I had not bought the garlic, this would be a $6.25 dinner. To feed 4 people, that's a really good price. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 for price. Taste, I would also probably have to say it's like an 8 out of 10. It's very basil forward. Not so surprisingly, this basil pesto from Dollar Tree is actually quite delicious, and the ingredients are on point. Basil, sunflower oil, yogurt, cheese, pea fiber, rice flour, sugar, olive oil, pecorino romano, sheep's milk cheese, lactic acid, salt, garlic, cashew nuts, pine nuts, natural basil flavor, and then ascorbic acid as a preservative, and garlic powder. So not only does it taste good, the ingredients are pretty on point, and I would absolutely buy this pesto again. Not to mention that this is like half the price of any pesto that I've seen at any other store, including Walmart. In the taste category, I do kind of feel like some of the toppings are, and she kind of mentions this in her video, that some of the toppings are there from a nutritional standpoint, not necessarily because they go together. And I think the one thing that I feel like doesn't really go is the corn. I think that the chickpeas with the red peppers, maybe even some Kalamata olives would have been great in this. Kind of leaning into the Mediterranean dish vibes, but the corn is a little standout to me as like not really fitting in with the palate. It's not bad. I would just personally see myself replacing the corn for something else should I make this dish again. Which brings us to number 3. I always like to talk about texture. I think that the texture of this dish is actually rather interesting in like a delightful sort of way because of the soft pasta, because you've got the roasted red pepper strips. Those are kind of a medium soft. They have a little bit of bite to them. The chickpeas have a lot of bite to them. The corn, I feel like just kind of washes away with the rest of everything else that's going on in this dish. All in all, like I feel like this is a really good Dollar Tree dinner, and I would not have come up with it myself. I think an interesting point about this video is that she says from a nutrition standpoint, she would like to see this meal have more protein. So you could definitely add some like canned tuna or chicken to it. I think either one of those options would go really well here. Tuna in pasta, tuna actually goes pretty well in a majority of different pasta dishes. And I think if you have a can of tuna, you could toss it in here and just see how you like it. This box of pasta, this entire box of pasta has about 70 grams of protein. I only used about half of it, so that's 35 grams of protein. And if you were to divide that between 4 servings, that's 8.75, let's just round up to 9 grams of protein in the pasta. Then we have our chickpeas, which have 7 grams per serving. It says there's 3.5 servings in this can. Again, we have 4 servings, so that's another 6 grams of protein in the chickpeas. There's a small amount of protein in the corn. So it says there's 2 grams, again, 3.5 servings in the can, 7, divide that by 4. That's 1 to 2 grams of protein. And then we have another 2 grams of protein in 2 teaspoons of Parmesan cheese. So if we were to say 9 plus 6 plus 2 plus 2, that's almost 20 grams of protein in a serving of this pasta dish, which is in line with, I think, what nutritionists consider to be a decent protein meal. So the red peppers have none, and the basil pesto has 1 per serving, so I didn't really count either one of those ingredients. I don't know if she actually calculated how much protein was in this. Maybe she did, but it has almost 20 grams of protein per serving. This was fun, and I hope you guys agree. I'm always on the hunt for new things to try like this, kind of getting myself out of my comfort zone as far as Dollar Tree ingredients go. I am going to start doing the What's New at Dollar Tree videos again, particularly because you guys give me so many ideas on the things that I can make with those ingredients, the new things at Dollar Tree. Those are almost always posted as a short, so be on the lookout for that. And thank you again to Solitaire Grand Harvest for sponsoring today's video. As a reminder, this is a free-to-play cell phone game, so give it a shot. There is nothing to lose. I love being able to partner with brands that offer something for free, so download it via the link in the description box or the QR code on screen, and let me know what you think of Solitaire Grand Harvest. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will see you again soon.